this is it. Like, this is what I got so far. Here's the key. Red color indicates methodology. So red bubbles are specific research techniques. Red lines are how the research techniques could be utilized to answer certain questions. Green is illegal substances. Blue means that there's a semi-decent chance of getting approval for doing that thing. Yellow needs research on the availability. So these four kind of are going to work together for the psychedelic research side of things. And then orange is research questions. Like, those are things that could be posed as a question with legs, theoretically. And then the light yellow gold bubbles are secondary important questions. So follow-up questions for primary research questions. And then pink is information that I need to learn about a topic. So if you look over here, I've broken it up into my primary areas of interest, which is neuroscience, psychedelics, accessibility, happiness, and well-being. And then I've got a bubble over here for random questions in case I come up with just sporadic, non-categorical, one-off questions that, I want to keep track of. So in psychedelics, we've got an extra floating topic bubble. That's great. Psilocybin, DMT, MDMA, LSD, ibogaine, and ayahuasca. So, for here example, I need to find more resources about ibogaine. I need to read more books about it. I need to read more case studies, etc. LSD. Here's one of my research questions that I want to continue doing Stan Grof's work with LSD and psilocybin for end-of-life hospice care. I really want to help people with the dying process. I don't think I'm mature enough yet to quite be able to shoulder that kind of emotional work, but I really want to in the future. I want to understand the neurochemical mechanisms behind the ayahuasca songs. So when someone takes ayahuasca, they sing them. The shamans sing songs, and they have specific songs that do specific things. It's essentially their medical tools. And I want to know what's going on. How is that working? How can we reverse engineer that to create novel therapies? Which is my main kind of big research goal. This is the one, which is basically, is there a common neurochemical geographic space for all of these experiences meaning, and then I've kind of connected so orange lines going towards a question indicate a topic that is going to be directly applicable to that question. So this particular research question, which is essentially, is there a common neurochemical geographical space for these experiences? When I'm in flow, do I travel chemically or neurobiologically to the same place as when I'm in the DMT realm? Or ayahuasca, is that the same landscape? Is it, because according to that movie from Pixar about feelings, the flow state is like a genuine ethereal place, like a physical place you can go. And so I'm wondering, were they right? Is that place real? Can we figure out how to better program therapy to help people potentially use that space medicinally? And the secondary question for this, of course, is that from ayahuasca stories, I've heard the whole gambit of people being healed from, decades-long psychosomatic disorders, which is disorders of the body that are caused by a disorder of the mind. And, by reliving those archetypal experiences, they're able to find relief. Small example, this woman had chronic shoulder pain a chronic cough for 20 years. She couldn't figure out why. And she had this one ayahuasca ceremony, and she experienced this past life memory of being drowned as a witch in the Salem witch trials. And that ended up connecting with her feeling of inability to speak, when her husband was being abusive towards her in her previous relationship, and that manifested as this persistent dry cough that wouldn't go away. But after she relived that way back archetypal memory of being a witch and being drowned, she realized she had kind of completed the gestalt, and the issue went away. So I want to know more about that. I want to know, what was the mechanism, for example, behind the songs being sung during her ceremony that led her to that place? Or was it the plant itself? Or obviously, I'm pretty sure it's a combination of the two. So, and then of course, here's methodologies that I'm interested in learning how to do. I am kind of interested in brain scan technologies and maybe developing something that is not as expensive as an MRI, but it is as useful at like imaging. Neuroscience, we've got creativity, cognitive behavioral, and neurotheology. I'm interested in what causes creativity, like what drives it, where is the genesis, where is it created. The process is just interesting to me. I don't know much more about that question than I was just brainstorming. And then, what about the spiritual experience leaves us feeling the way it does, chemically and biologically? How are we so aware of these archetypal things, like the archetype of the healer or the wizard or the sage, or why is this so ingrained into all of us? And then accessibility, what's already there, what populations need help, what's the state of the affordability of quality neuro healthcare, how is neuropsych applied now? Is it only applied to traumatic brain injuries? Could we apply some of these techniques to non-traumatic, life-threatening, or serious issues, like just instead of classic talk therapy, for example, using experiential-based neurological processes to help with depression and anxiety and, kind of, I don't want to call them like basic, but more manageable conditions that are not debilitatingly impairing and require a clinical stay, that kind of thing. And then, who's dealing with this right now? Like who should I go learn from? And then, general happiness and well-being. This is kind of where I got tired last night, so I kind of fell off, but depression's interesting to me because it seems like in a lot of cases it's something that could be fixed with potentially not medicine. Like I don't necessarily think medicine is the right move for most cases of depression, since I think a lot of them are pretty caused by environmental factors. So yeah, that's kind of my, me just spitballing at a wall for an hour, kind of trying to get out some of those ideas.